Okay, my journey with trigeminal neuralgia part 2. And what I wanted to talk about is what I have tried since the first video. It's been about a good couple of months, and I've had time to try some of these different products out, and I want to talk to you about some different things. Okay, so we'll talk about castor oil. We're going to talk about blackseed oil. We're going to talk about vitamin B12, niacin, folate, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about peppermint. We're going to talk about clove bud and frankincense for trigeminal neuralgia. And then we are going to talk about this stuff right here, Dmso dimethyl sulfoxide. We're going to talk about, does that work? And we're going to talk about this stuff right here, which is this in a cream. This is for muscle and joint relief. So it's not necessarily for nerve, but it has aloe vera, magnesium, and arnica. So we're going to talk about these different things. What has helped? Is any of it working? So what I've done is I've made, you can buy these bottles off of Amazon, and they come with things like this. Okay, so you can make your own formulas. Okay, so I've been making my own formulas. You know, they talk about clove bud oil being really good for you, for your teeth and so forth. And because for me, and it's actually shooting pain on me right now, right there. 1 second, I'm having a flare up. I want to tell you something else that I found, a trick that may be the most promising of all, but I don't want to share it with you just yet. So let's talk about these different things. Okay, so I've been using castor oil as my base, and then I'll drop in some DMSO. This is DMSO, that 100% is just in a dropper, so I can put 1 or 2 drops, and then a few drops of black seed oil and a drop of clove bud oil because it's really strong. This frankincense is extremely strong. Peppermint, that is not as strong, but I like it because it gets rid of that nasty black seed oil taste. And then if you want to put this in, you're going to end up with a strawberry, or this is blood orange flavor. So this already has its own flavor. I've made many elixirs with this. And as I told you in the last video, I haven't noticed anything myself. So, and I've been doing this now for about a month and a half, 2 months, and I gargle with this stuff. Like I say, I make different elixirs, different strengths. Nothing seems to be doing anything, really. I mean, to be honest with you. If I have a flare-up, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take the vitamin B12, drop a shot back there. I just don't see it doing anything yet. Maybe it will in time. But 2 months in, I have not had any success with gargling different elixirs that I've made, different nutrients and things that they say you need. I am going to tell you, I came across a video about DMSO. You can put this on topically. This is made, I really think this is more for topical, and you really have to break it down. And you can put it in like a castor oil and rub it on your skin and things like that. Now I'm going to tell you where I have finally found something that has brought some success. And that is, I went from this to this. And I got this off of Amazon, but many of you know, especially men, I'm thinking, like where you touch your beard and it triggers it could even cause a flare-up. If you just touch your skin a certain way, it causes a flare-up. If you put some of this on, now, again, I'm not a doctor. Consult with your doctor first. But what I have done with this stuff here, now it smells kind of like Bengay. And so I like it because I like that smell. But what I'll do is I'll rub some on this side, just like this here, and I'll even get it into my beard. I purposely have been shaving a lot more just so that I have more surface area. But I'll rub it into my beard. It's just this half of my face, right? And I will even get it behind my ear because that trigeminal nerve is all the way around like this. Okay, so I figured, okay, what the hell? It can't hurt. Well, it helped because I no longer have that. Now this stuff kind of burns your eyes because it's got menthol, I believe. It's 2% menthol. It's got a whole bunch of goodies in there. Like I say, it's got aloe vera. It's got licorice root extract, curcuma, turmeric, believe it or not, which is really, really good for you. It's got a lot of goodies in it. But it does, because it kind of smells like Bengay or something, it will burn your eyes. So when you do it, be careful not to get it too far over here because the vapors go right up into your eye and make them burn or make your eye water a little bit. But it's not bad. It doesn't smell that bad, I don't think. You can feel it kind of like, it's kind of like Bengay. You can feel that menthol, but I don't know. But it has cured one thing. Now, the thing that it has cured is a very minor thing. So don't get too excited. But the minor thing that it has taken care of for me is that is no longer like touching my beard and things like that. When I had a full beard, it really, you could really tell. I mean, I could literally just go like that and it caused a flare-up. And this topically has done the trick. Now, here's the thing. Okay, so how do I get this DMSO in my gums? Because for me, it feels like it's back here where they pulled that tooth. So how do I get it from that? So that's where I've been taking the DMSO and making all these elixirs. Nothing has helped. However, and I know you're not supposed to do this, and maybe I'll get somebody yelling at me over this, but I have taken, when I'm having a flare-up, and just go right here on the edge, not getting very much on me, And I have actually gone in there and went around my gum line. And the flare-up doesn't last as long. It's subjective. I don't know that it's doing anything major. But if you haven't tried this, and if you haven't experimented with this stuff, and you have trigeminal neuralgia, you may want to give it a go. Okay, so the other thing I have tried, and people have talked about coconut oil, and I have taken this, and when I'm having a flare-up, I'll take a little bit of it, stick it back there where I feel like it's throbbing, and it might subside in a little bit less time than a normal flare-up would go. So I'm not going to count it out. What would be nice if somebody made some of this as a cream with DMSO in it and all those goodies, and experiment with that. And of course, I have also gargled with warm water and a sea salt that's iodine rich. I have tried everything. Nothing seems to be working. Now, there was something that I watched a video on YouTube somewhere. It could have been TikTok. It could have been Rumble. It could have been any number of places. But I seen a video clip, and this doctor says, hey, if you have the pain on this side, go to the opposite side and find your temple. And I can't remember if it was exactly the temple, but there is a pressure point. You want to find that pressure point and massage it while this side is acting up. And I had tried it back then, a year ago, a couple years ago when I had heard about it, to no avail. And I've been going through this deal, and it actually happened pretty much right after the last video. If you recall, I was talking about that I was on like 2,300 milligrams of gabapentin a day, and also throwing in carbamazepine in on that too. So probably about 400 milligrams of carbamazepine. And what I was finding is it wasn't helping me. The more I took didn't matter. I still ended up taking ibuprofen. I still ended up taking Tylenol, which you're not supposed to take. I know you're not supposed to take it. But when you are in pain, you will do anything to alleviate the pain. Well, I dropped off I went back down to 900 milligrams a day, and I went completely off of the carbamazepine. Interesting thing, I'm back on it a month later. But anyway, so I was having these really bad attacks, and I had not had this happen to me in the middle of the night when I'm trying to sleep. All of a sudden I wake up and I'm feeling a stabbing pain right here. And It was keeping me up. But at one point, I was laying there and I was half dead because I hadn't gotten any sleep for a couple of days. And I'm laying there and I'm somewhere in between the awakened state and the sleep state. Not to REM sleep yet, but just a sleep state. And I'm laying there, and a lot of times I will lay, the pain is on this side, so I'll lay on this side and sometimes even my hand will end up under my, either under my pillow or literally right on my face like this, And so I'm laying there, I'm half awake, I'm half asleep, and I remembered what that doctor said. And so I went up with my fingers and I started kind of like pushing around over here, in the temple area. And I went right into the middle of that temple, and nothing happened. So I kind of started just kind of like pushing around in other places, and I finally pushed a spot. And for me, that spot is right behind the temple, about a half an inch past it. And for some reason, this seems to be the spot that when I massage it, and I'm having an attack on this side, and I touch this side and just massage it, the pain's gone. It actually worked. So I started to do it more and more and more. The only problem is that for me, it feels like when you're awake, it doesn't work. And so it makes me feel like, is this some kind of mental thing? And now we're back to this mental thing. Because some of the mornings that I've had these attacks, or I get wakened up in the middle of the night, I'll have my hand there maybe, but I'll say to myself, go away, leave me alone. You are going to stop. And something has happened. It hasn't happened every time, but it has happened to where it went away. How do you explain that? So what I have begun to do is when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, most of you guys know that's when it really hurts, right? When you're brushing your teeth, boy, that really can trigger it. And I'll be having an episode and I'm brushing along and I'm like, I got to brush my teeth. So I'm like, we're going to go, you want to fight? You're going to get one. And I'll start brushing. And within a few minutes, it's gone. The pain's gone. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you eat through it. Sometimes you talk through it. And eventually the pain goes away. I still feel that there is some kind of mental part to this, as well as the actual physical part, that the nerve itself has some kind of compression issue. But I have, come to this conclusion that I'm living with this the rest of my life unless I can figure it out. And I've healed myself of other things in my life. I had a rash on my shin where I had a dirt bike accident when I was a kid, and the muffler burnt my shin, and the skin on my shin was a mess. I mean, literally into my 30s, it was still messed up. The skin was actually almost black where that scar was, right? But I would look at it and I would just hate it. And I said, I'm going to heal myself somehow. And I started taking different ointments, different creams. And I was doing shit for, I think I still have probably 20 different bottles of different skin oils and creams and things, because I tried everything and eventually it went away. I'll have to take a picture of it and show you guys. I don't have a before picture, but I have heard of people healing themselves. I'm definitely a believer that there is something that has to work and will work. I don't know if it's this DMSO stuff, but I just have this feeling that if I could figure out a way, maybe the company that runs this, maybe you guys get a hold of me, an oral gum jaw or internal use type cream that wouldn't be bad if you swallowed it. But I can tell you this thing here, I would love to get this in a flavor that's not this, so that I could have other things with it. This vitamin B with niacin and folate. This is, people swear by it online. Hasn't done it for me. But, I don't do it religiously. I don't do it 3 times a day, or, I might even now I'm probably down to once or twice a week because it didn't work when I tried it daily. See, there's all these things on the internet that are supposed to help you, and they're supposed to be the be all of it, And I have there is no miracle cure. There is no silver bullet with this thing. This was definitely helpful for that sensitivity deal, and I've even had it. I remember when I would have it and the wind would hit it just right and it would cause a flare up. So that part is cured. But like I say, that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the internal pain, that throbbing, sharp, stabbing pain. And I said, like right now, I can feel it. Now, what I will do is I'll go over here, and it helps to relax. Is another thing I'm noticing is that when you're sleeping or you're trying to sleep and this thing is bothering you, and you go to do this, now just remember, it may not be right in the temple. It might be to the side of it. It's somewhere over here, but just kind of rub. See, it just did it. And when you hit it, it's an immediate feeling, of it's gone. So try it. Please leave comments down below if you try this trick and it works for you. Remember, it's the opposite side of where your pain is. So if yours is on the right, you need to do this on the left. Let me know what you guys find out. If any of you guys have tried the DMSO thing and you figured out a way to break it down, the heartburn is incredible with this stuff. Be very careful. Start out really slow, a drop in a small shot glass of water. Chug that down and see what that does. I imagine you're probably going to get heartburn. But let me know what you guys find out. I'll be back in another couple of months and we'll see where we're at that time. Thanks for stopping in.